welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zerotio.
Yes, we lied to everybody.
Yeah, well, we weren't intentionally lying. We fully intended on not recording an episode this week because we weren't expecting all of the cards to be released this week.
Yeah, they came out and basically said that there was not going to be a final reveal stream, which probably would have normally happened this coming Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So today, if you're listening on download, but I'm assuming between all the protests going on at Activision Blizzard, on top of the fact that it's a holiday weekend, they just didn't want to go through all the hoops to do the final reveal stream. So they dropped all the cards.
But it was really cool that they gave community members who might not normally have the ability to do a card reveal these card reveals. It was really cool to see members of the community who have been longtime members of the community get to do some of these reveals.
Like Ben Hearthstone?
Yes.
Heathstone?
Yeah.
A few other ones out there in the community that they last minute basically said, since there will not be a reveal stream, we have a handful more cards we could reveal before we drop them all on Wednesday the 24th.
Right.
So they just sent those community members some cards to reveal on that Tuesday. And then when Wednesday hit, they dropped all the cards.
Which was really cool.
All of them. So we have the remaining 89 cards to reveal today.
Yeah, so there's not really going to be a news or discussion portion. Mainly because we want to be able to get through all these, but also that they're just really it's the holiday season here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Most people haven't been at work since Wednesday afternoon anyway.
Yep.
And just so happens Zerotio was in town. His in-laws live in the same town as I do, and so he was in town visiting for the holiday. And we were like, "We've got all the cards. Why don't we sit down and just knock something out?"
Yeah, so the only news we have is no reveal stream.
Yeah, no reveal stream.
In lieu of that, we're going to go ahead and go over all 89 remaining cards. I was chomping at the bit, hoping they weren't going to release the cards too late, because I go from my first job to my second job. So as soon as they dropped all the cards, they didn't even announce it. I was just sitting on the Play Hearthstone site, spamming F5 all day. And about an hour and a half before I had to leave
that
work.
That is his day job. He's
Yeah.
spamming F5, believe it or not.
That's true. So basically, I had an hour and a half to jam all 89 cards into a slide and was able to get it done. So we have reveal. So we're going to kind of play next week by ear.
Yeah.
If we get some more news drops and some more information about patches, we will likely do a show. But if there's no news, and since we have all the cards revealed, we may not do a show next week. So pay attention to our Twitter at HeroPower_cast on Twitter, and we'll let you know. And of course, if you're part of our Patreon Discord, which you can be part of over at patreon.com/HeroPower, we will post it in our Discord if we're going to be doing a show or not.
Huge shout out to patron Marspad, who bumped up from a copper member to a gold member this week. We appreciate your support, brother.
And I appreciate you not beating me this week in the Coin Concede Listener Series. I got to play you, I think, tomorrow.
So you won't hear this until after
Yeah.
the match has happened. So
if I beat you, I appreciate you. If you beat me, screw off. No, seriously, Marspad's an awesome member of the community. It's going to be hard playing against him because he was my practice partner for last week.
Yeah.
So he knows how my comp. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. But let's get into these reviews.
Yeah, let's just jump right into this card review. So like we did last week, we're going to start with neutrals again and work our way back. So first up, we have the neutral legendary Korak the Blood Rager. So this is a 4-mana 3/5 Death Rattle. If this wasn't honorably killed, resummon Korak. So if you guys remember, we talked about honorable kills last week. They have to be the exact amount to be an honorable kill, which means they have to hit this for 5.
If it's not buffed.
If it's not buffed, they have to hit it for 5 in a single attack to honorably kill it. If they have to hit it twice, it resummons.
Or if they hit it once for 6.
It's 6, yeah. It
resummons.
resummons.
So
it has to be exact. So, well, I guess that's not true. I guess they could hit it for 3 and then hit it for 2.
Yes.
And that would be an honorable kill.
That's true.
So, yeah, they can't overkill it. You know,
Yeah.
so it really can throw a gum in the works for how they're having to deal out their damage.
I think this is the best neutral legendary in the set.
So you think this is what you would consider a sleeper?
Yeah. And the reason is because resurrection type, death rattle type, recurring minions have caused a problem. We obviously had issues in the past with Resurrection Priest constantly bringing back minions, and then we also have the Rat King decks. Well, you and I have had success with Reverend's version of the Rat King deck, where that Rat King just keeps coming back, and you make more and more copies of the Rat King, and your opponent needs to clear your board, but then they resummon, so they can't ever really clear your board. So that's what Korak is going to do naturally. So if they kill this and they don't honorably kill it, then it's going to come back. If they do honorably kill it, you can bring it back with that Undying card from the mini set from Dead Mines in Priest, which will give you another one. If they have to kill this multiple times, then you might get 2, 3, or 4 Koraks on the board when you resurrect your Death Rattle minions. So in Death Rattle Priest, it's going to be very good. I think it will have a home in other decks as well. It's just a good, solid, sticky minion. People play Moonfang right now because it has to have so many trades into it. And you get really good value from Moonfang. This could be a better Moonfang.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, next up we have a neutral epic, the Frozen Mammoth. So this is a 4-mana, 6/7 beast. Now here's the catch. This is frozen until you cast a fire spell.
Yes. So I've heard a lot of people talking about this card, how it's really good, and it will be good in decks that have fire spells like Shaman, like Mage, and one class they didn't talk about was Hunter.
Okay. Yeah.
Explosive Trap is a fire spell.
Explosive Trap is a fire spell. They have a lot of other spells that are considered fire. And didn't they just recently add fire spells to the warrior class in this expansion? Aren't there some of the...
Frost.
Is it just Frost?
It's just Frost spells. I don't think there's any fire spells in warrior. There might be, but I'm pretty sure there's not. But in Hunter, you have Explosive Trap, as well as you have lots of beast synergies. So I think this would be a good card in a lot of those decks, but definitely in Hunter. And of course, if there's a minion-based mage, you could put it in mage. I don't know if you want to put minions that don't specifically synergize with your spells in mage, but in shaman it could work.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on, we have neutral rares. First up, we have the Kobold Taskmaster. This is a 3-mana, 2/4 battle cry. Add 2 armor scraps to your hand that give +2 health to a minion.
Yeah, so it's a spell just like the old scraps before. It's a spell that's 1 mana to
+2 health,
and it gives +2 health to a minion.
Yeah.
I mean, card.
This could synergize well with something that gives an effect after you cast a spell.
It could. It also synergizes well with anything that deals with hand size. Because when you play this, it's going to put 2 cards in your hand.
cards back. So
maybe it's actually good in something like a hand lock.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's going to give you more cards than you're playing out.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Iron Deep Trog. So this is a 1-mana, 1/2. After your opponent casts a spell, summon a copy of this.
Yeah, the important part is after, not when. So what would make this bad, and I think the old Trog from, I can't remember what set it was when your opponent casts a spell. So if they played like Flame Strike, it would create a copy and then it would immediately die. This is after, so if they play, some kind of board clear, if this doesn't die, or if they play some kind of spell on another minion, if this doesn't die, then it summons. So I'm not sure how good it is in the 1 mana spot. I would like it to be a 1 mana 1/3, but ultimately, I mean, if you're playing a very spammy, aggressive strategy that the only way your opponent shut you down is with spot removal with spells, maybe this is good.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it says after your opponent casts a spell. So if they cast a spell to kill this, that spell kills this, then
It resolves, it doesn't get it. Yeah, exactly. All right, next up, we have the Frostwolf Warmaster. So this is a 4 mana 3/3. Costs 1 less for each card you've played this turn. So, if you've played a couple of low mana spells, you could potentially play this as a 1 mana 3/3 or even a free 3/3.
Yeah, cards like this that get this kind of big cost reduction based on a lot of stuff being played can kind of break the game sometimes, especially if they attribute to an aggressive strategy, and this does. So, I mean, you play it in a token-based Druid.
Or maybe even a
Rogue?
Lock.
A Warlock?
With
Zulok.
Zulok, that's what I was
maybe
looking for.
Zulok. You don't have a lot of free spells in Zulok, but maybe on a raise dead turn where you're raise deading things and then playing those things, you just raise dead, and then eventually you can get this down to 1 mana or free. But when you're able to spam a bunch of stuff, especially in Druid where you're playing Innervates, you're playing Lightning Blooms, and then you're using that extra mana to play bigger, maybe 3 or 4 mana minions, and then this is free all of a sudden. So instead of just playing one big 4 mana minion, you're playing 2 4 mana minions. I think it's good.
Yeah.
It might even need a nerf.
Oh,
I don't want to come out the
little early.
I don't want to come out the gate with rating it a 6 according to our coin concede and hero power spreadsheet, for a rare card, but this might be one of those sleeper cards that gets broken on week 1 and they don't find a good way to fix it.
Yeah. We'll have to see. So, continuing with neutral rares, we have the Snowblind Harpy. This is a 3 mana 3/4 battle cry. If you're holding a frost spell, gain 5 armor.
So where I think this is going to be good is they've given some good control tools in Warrior that are frost spells, and likely a lot of times you're going to want to hold those to the right moment, and this gives you 5 armor. So
right.
in a control-based strategy, or, hear me out here, a Silas OTK.
Ooh.
I've been looking at a lot of these cards in this set, and Silas OTK is going to be very possible.
Okay.
And because it's still, if I'm not mistaken, all the cards in the Silas OTK are still in standard, at least until next year when Darkmoon rotates. So I think Silas OTK might be the next big baddie when it comes to combo decks specifically.
Okay.
And it plays a control strategy. So you just live a long time, build up your armor, and then boom, get the OTK.
Maybe we experiment a little with that deck after this set comes out and we play it on the show one week.
So that is one of my 3 decks I'm going to be playing on, trying to create on day 1.
Okay.
I have 5 decks I always try to create. The first 3 are the ones I try to put on the show. Okay. And that is one of them.
Okay. Next up, we have the Stormpike Marshal. It's a 4 mana 2/6 with taunt. If you took 5 or more damage on your opponent's turn, this costs 1.
So this is interesting. It's basically a taunt minion that helps protect you against aggressive strategies that punishes aggressive strategies.
Yes.
So not only do you get to play this for 1 if they're very aggressive on you, it's a taunt that they now have to deal with.
Right. And if they're hitting you, turn 3 or 4 for 5 damage, you can drop this out for 1. It's going to take at least 2 of their minions to clear this minimum, probably that early. And you can even develop a 3 mana behind this.
Yeah. Where I'm actually thinking is putting this in an aggressive deck. So think of the taunt token Druid right now, you could, one of its kind of tough matchups is
Mirror.
aggro hunter. Well, a mirror, but also
aggro
aggro hunter. And aggressive hunter can go over the top of all your taunts. Well, if you if they hit you really hard with one of their combo big kind of turns on turn 3 where they're hitting you with an aim shot and then using their hero power and that kind of stuff, then it's possible you could play a Oracle of Loon and play this, and now you have two 6s.
You and I were playing Pirate Warrior earlier, and there was a couple times on turn 5 we were hitting for 13 plus.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good deck that can be put in an aggressive strategy to kind of counter other aggressive strategies.
Yep.
But it also can be good in like a mid range deck to stop those aggressive strategies and punish them for being aggressive.
Yep. All right, next up we've got some neutral commons. First up we have the Corporal. This is a 2-mana 2/3 honorable kill. Give your other minions Divine Shield.
This is bad because it doesn't give itself Divine Shield.
That's true.
And
other minions.
Honorable kill on a minion that doesn't have a lot of health and also doesn't have rush. I mean, this is a 2-mana 2/3, and if they kill it with 3 damage, then it was just a croc.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a crocolisk.
Crocolisk.
So, it's bad.
I like how you say it. It was just a croc.
Just croc.
Croc of what? Crocolisk. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, river crocolisk. Is it river crocolisk?
Yes.
2/3?
Yeah.
No, or is it 3/2? I don't remember.
Next up, we have Sneaky Scout. This is a 2-mana 3/2 with stealth. Honorable kill. Your next hero power costs 0.
We're going to see some other cards that manipulate hero power better.
Okay.
I don't think it's as good because to get the honorable kill, to get your hero power 0, you're likely going to trade this and kill itself.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. You're going to trade into like a 2/3 or a 1/3.
It doesn't have a death rattle. It doesn't have a divine shield.
Right.
You're just spending 2 mana to next turn make your hero power, which costs 2 mana, free.
Right.
I don't think it's good.
Next up, we have the Troll Centurion. So this is an 8-mana 8/8 with rush. Honorable kill. Deal 8 damage to the enemy hero. It's a dragon killer, giant killer.
It's a giant killer, so I've gone back and forth on this. First off, an 8-mana 8/8 with rush is just good. If you kill something that has less than 8 health and doesn't kill this, then, or less than 8 attack and doesn't kill this, then they have to deal with it and trade into it. Mm-hmm. So that's like a 2-for-1, maybe even 3-for-1. If you can trade this into like an 8/8 giant, then you're doing 8 damage to their face. So it's like a King Crush.
Yeah. You're clearing a minion and dealing 8 damage. So I mean,
so if you are playing a deck that might be able to cheat these kind of things out, then maybe. But honestly, it might just be good. I don't think it. I think in Constructed, it might be hard to have this card take up a slot that's better used for your deck.
So let me ask you what you think about this in something like Wild, where Recruit is a thing.
Maybe a white, and we have some forms of Recruit in Standard right now. Anyway, we have the 6/2. I forget what it's called in Warrior that recruits. We have the 7-minute spell that recruits and gives it Divine Shield. This was Divine Shield, it was even better. I think in Arena this card's amazing, but nobody plays Arena anymore, so nobody knows. I'm torn on it. I think it's one of those cards that people will put in and then find out there's better options for.
Okay.
So I don't think it's amazing, but it's a solid card.
Okay. Next up we have Tower Sergeant. This is a 4-mana 4/4 Battle Cry. If you control at least 2 other minions, gain +2/+2.
So it becomes a 4-mana 6/6.
If it's the 3rd minion on your board,
which
or more,
is kind of hard to do.
It really is
in Standard. But you have to assume anything you're putting out is going to be dealt with, and if it doesn't get dealt with, you're probably just going to win at that point. So this is kind of what they would call a win more card. I kind of hate that phrase, but at the same time, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
If you have 2 minions alive, then you're probably ahead, and you probably want a different 4-drop.
Right. So next up we have the Stormpike Quartermaster. So this is a 2-mana 2/2. After you cast a spell, give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. It feels like this card was absolutely made for hand buff Paladin.
You'd think so. But hand buff Paladin is very minion dense. You don't have a lot of spells.
There are a few hand buff spells in the deck.
There are a few.
And what if you ran that Kobold we were talking about a minute ago that gave you the +2 health minion, +2 health spells? That's an additional +2/+2 to minions.
True.
+2 health.
True, but we're getting into that trap of playing 2 bad cards to make 1 good situation. And I don't think without this card you would put that
I could see that
minion in that deck. So honestly, I think people will put this in the hand buff Paladin and then realize there's not enough spells to support this. Now, there might be a hand buff Paladin that still uses Librams.
I was going to say, yeah, what about a Libram kind of?
If you're going to put Libram of Wisdom in your hand buff Paladin, then sure, I would put Stormpike Quartermaster in that deck as well. Because you'll continually get the Libram of Wisdom back.
Which means you're continually buffing something in your hand.
But I think Librams don't work best in the hand buff Paladin deck, and if that is indeed the case, then you don't play Stormpike Quartermaster in that deck.
Okay, all right. And then next up we have the Ram Commander. So this is a 2-mana 2/2 battle cry. Add 2 1/1 Rams with Rush to your hand.
What about Ram Commander in the hand buff Paladin?
Yeah, you add the 2 1/1s and then you
they
buff
get buff.
them. Yeah,
and nothing. There aren't better minions to hand buff
than Rush minions.
So all of a sudden you're getting 3/3, 2/2, and 3/3 Rush minions. They may be better. Do I think that's a good idea? We'll just have to see the way the deck fleshes out.
We saw how well Rush Warrior did there for a while.
Yes, that's true. The biggest problem with trying to pick cards to go in something like a hand buff Paladin is hand buff Paladin is already an existing deck that has a good build to it already.
Yeah.
So the cards going in hand buff Paladin have to be better than what's already in there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we fall a little short.
Okay. Next up we have the Reflecto Engineer. So this is a 3-mana 2/4 battle cry. Swap the attack and health of all minions in both players' hands and make Zeddy happy.
Yeah, so Zeddy posted a tweet, which I thought I stopped following him or on Twitter, but I saw a tweet from Zeddy. I think somebody must have retweeted it that said that this is the counter to Octobot because it makes Octobot a 4/1. But it can't be frenzied and reduce cost of cards in your hand.
Right.
Do you really want to play this just for those rogues? Probably not. But in the right deck that wants
to swap the attacks and health.
That is maybe attack heavy and you want higher health, or it's health heavy and you want high attack.
Right.
It might work out well.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Piggyback Imp. So this is a 3-mana 4/1 Death Rattle. Summon a 4/1 Imp.
Yeah. This is a sticky minion that might revitalize Zoo.
Yeah.
And I like it. It's good.
Then we have Legionnaire. 6-mana 9/3 Death Rattle. Give all minions in your hand +2/+2.
6 mana is very high for a hand buff card. However, it's a 9/3 body.
Yes.
Which means they have to deal with it, or they're going to take 9 to the face. And I like it. And that's +2/+2 to your entire hand.
Right.
And
all minions, not just a random minion.
And again, this is why I believe hand buff Paladin needs to be minion dense.
Gotcha. Okay. Then we have the Ice Hoof Protector. So this is a 6-mana 2/10 taunt. Freeze any minion or freeze any character damaged by this minion.
Okay. That is even face.
Yeah, that's
On the
even
taunt.
face.
So, have we ever had a freeze minion
With taunt?
with taunt?
I don't think so.
I think that makes this... Well, no, we did with Shaman once. And it
Okay.
was good.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Next up, we have the Ice Revenant. 4 mana, 4/5. This is an elemental. Whenever you cast a frost spell, gain +2/+2.
It's good.
There's a lot of frost spells in Shaman. There's a lot of frost spells in Mage.
There's frost spells everywhere this
Yeah.
season. I think it's good. I don't know how impactful it will be. Just increasing the stats on a minion that doesn't have taunt or rush. They might just ignore it.
Right. And then we have Cora's favorite card, the Humongous Owl. So this is a 7 mana 8/4 beast. Death Rattle. Deal 8 damage to a random enemy.
Okay, so I said before that I thought Death Rattle Priest could be really, really good. The problem we have is the only really good Death Rattles we have for that deck are survivability ones that give you armor, heal, things like that. We don't have any that are aggressive to finish out a game. This finishes out a game.
Correct.
Now, do you have room to play a 7 mana minion? We'll just have to see. This is the deck that I think you go really expensive on for your priest, resurrect priest, or death rattle resurrect priest, and you play Vandar to reduce them all by 2 mana.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden your 8/8
It's reduced by 3 mana.
Is it 3 mana? Oh,
Yeah.
3 mana.
So this would then be a 4 mana.
This would be 4
Humongous
mana.
Owl.
The 8/8 taunt that gives armor would be 5 mana. Your elemental that heals for 8 would be 3 mana.
Yes.
So in that deck now, that means you have to get Vandar, draw him, play him before you play all these minions. Is that good? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
All right. Next up, we have the Herald of Lokhalar. So this is a 4 mana 3/5 battle cry. Draw a frost spell.
Yeah, and there's some good frost spells, especially control-based frost spells, in like warrior and classes that don't normally have frost, that you can put in your deck, and then this is like giving you an extra copy of that card. So you get it, it tutors for that specific card because it's the only frost spell you have in the deck, and there you go. Is it good? We'll have to see if we have any frost spells we desperately need to have, at beck and call.
Right. And then next up, we have what is probably my favorite thematic card from this set, the Gangster. So this is a 2 mana 4/2 with stealth. After your opponent plays a minion, attack it. So I love this card because when we used to play Battlegrounds in World of Warcraft, whether it was Alterac Valley or what was the one that was Capture the Flag?
Warsong Gulch?
Warsong Gulch. It was all about ganking your opponent.
Yeah.
And this is just a cool play on that word. I love the Gankster. As far as playability,
I just got that joke. Gankster.
yeah.
Anyways, I was just spinning through these, making the slideshow. So this is I'm torn on this because basically you're paying 2 mana to negate the next spell the next minion your opponent plays.
As long as it's under 4 health.
You're not really... Well, if you play this on 2, it's likely going to kill something. You're
Correct.
not really developing on the board. So you're going to want this in a control deck. Secondly, if your opponent plays a death rattle that they want to like put in the death rattle pool or have the death rattle go off, they just play into this and boom, the death rattle goes off. And you have no way to counterplay by silencing it or doing something to water down their pool or anything like this. So they could literally play an impactful death rattle that has 4 or less health. This kills that death rattle. Then if, say it's death rattle priest, they could immediately play Raise Dead to get another copy of that death rattle.
Right.
So I don't think it's good for that reason, and yeah, I just don't think it's proactive enough.
Yeah.
Because stat line, you want to put it in an aggressive deck, but you don't want to put this in an aggressive deck unless you're specifically trying to counter a taunt, and then you're playing more tempo, and that's not what you want to do in an aggressive deck.
Next up, we have the Frantic Hippogriff. This is a 5-mana, 3/7 beast with Rush and Honorable Kill, gain Wind Fury.
That's interesting. So for 5 mana, you could kill a 3 health minion and then something else with 3 or less health in one turn. So you're 2 for 1ing with this. This is going to be meta dependent if 3 health is a breaking point on turn 5. But I think it's a solid tech card.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the Blood Guard. So whenever this minion takes damage, give your minions +1 attack. So this is a 5-mana 4/7.
So this doesn't have Rush. So it's going to be on your opponent to choose the order of attacking. So I don't think it's very good.
Yeah. Then we have Bunker Sergeant. It's a 3-mana 2/4. Battle Cry. If your opponent has 2 or more minions, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions.
Yeah, so this is going to be good against a token-based strategy. Face Hunter. This will kill alley cats. I don't think it's going to be very good against the aggressive Druid because a lot of the breakpoints on that is 2 and 3 health.
Yep.
But it can soften things up. Maybe kill a couple small minions. It's in that tech card category.
Yep. Then we have the Direwolf Commander. So this is a 3-mana 2/5. Honorable Kill. Summon a 2/2 wolf with stealth.
I want to like this because, I mean, you can use the Honorable Kill multiple times. Problem is, any of these Honorable Kill minions that don't have Rush, you're probably not going to get the Honorable Kill off.
That's very true.
So, it's probably a bad card.
All right. Now we are into the class.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So, first up, we're going to start with the Demon Hunter Legendary Kurtrus Demon Render. This is a hero card for the Demon Hunter class. It is a 6-mana, 5 armor, Battle Cry, summon 2 1/4 demons with Rush. This is improved by your hero attacks this game.
So what that means is every attack you make with your hero before playing this hero card increases the demon's attack.
So let's talk about the hero power. Ashfallen's Fury is 1 mana, hero power, +2 attack this turn after a friendly minion attacks. Refresh this.
So there's a dual class card called Dreadeye something, I can't remember, that is a 2-mana 2/3 that makes your hero power 1 less. So you can play that and then play Rush minions behind it, and every time your hero power is going to be 0 when it refreshes, and then you get this giant attack off.
Yeah.
And plus the Battle Cry gives you Rush minions.
Yep.
So right off the bat, you're going to be able to have some Rush minions to rush with that have decent health. Now, before you play Kurtrus, say you're with your regular hero power with Demon Hunter, you attack 3 times.
Yes.
That means when you play Kurtrus Demon Render, when the Battle Cry goes off, those demons will be 4/4s with Rush.
Correct.
Because they'll get 3 additional attack, 1 extra for each attack. So at base, they're 1/4 demons. They get an extra attack for every time you've attacked before you play this hero power card.
So, all right. Next up, we have a Demon Hunter Epic, Sigil of Reckoning. This is a 5-mana fail spell. At the start of your next turn, summon a random demon from your hand. So here, we have a way to cheat out large demons.
Yes. I mean, you're going to want to put large demons in this demon... big demon hunters, what they're speculating the deck will be called. And this is the most expensive sigil.
It is.
So you don't want to use this when you have demons that are 5 or less mana cost
in your hand, because it would be inefficient.
But if you're playing demons that have 6 or more cost, then yes, this is basically is cheating it out. We've seen a card similar to this in Shaman in the past that did well. It was 6 mana and it summoned a minion from your hand. So and that was good in the right deck. Maybe this will be too.
Next up, we have Flanking Maneuver. So this is a rare Demon Hunter spell. 4 mana. Summon a 4/2 demon with Rush. If it dies this turn, summon another.
Yeah, so this is another one where
4 mana for 8/4 worth of stats. And if it attacks and dies.
And with that hero power, if you attack and it dies, and then the other one attacks, then you're going to get your hero power refreshed twice.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah. Then we have a Demon Hunter Common, the Battle-Worn Vanguard. This is a 2 mana 2/2. After your hero attacks, summon 2/1/1 Fell Wings.
Yeah, there used to be a 3 mana 4/2, I believe it was, that had a similar effect.
It summoned a 2/2. 1/2/2.
1/2/2. This is 2/1/1s, which are more minions to die, more minions to attack. I think this is in that kind of demon swarming demon hunter. It's more of a small demon hunter as opposed to the big demon hunter we talked about before.
All right. Moving on to Druids. First up, we have the Druid Legendary Wing Commander Malveric. This is a 4 mana 2/5. Rush. Your minions have honorable kill. Summon a 2/2 Wyvern with Rush.
So, what's interesting about this is it's a static effect on the legendary. Your minions have honorable kill. Summon a 2/2 Wyvern with Rush. So, it's not a battle cry that gives that to your minions. Right. So if you play this, and Wing Commander Malveric, rushes into a 2/2, it's going to summon a 2/2 Wyvern.
Right.
With Rush that also has honorable kills. So if you can keep honorable killing with those wyverns will just summon
continue
more wyverns.
Summoning. Yeah.
So this is like endless minions as long as your opponent has minions that it can honorable kill.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a good card. It's a great board clear.
So next up we have Druid Rares. We have Pathmaker. So this is a 3 mana 3/4 battle cry. Cast the other choice from the last choose one spell you've cast.
So if you nourish for mana crystals, and then you play Pathmaker the next turn, you will draw 3 cards.
Correct.
For 3 mana, 3/4 body.
Really good.
It just adds to it. Now, obviously, that is like kind of a top scenario.
Right. Yeah.
But if you build your deck right, those are the type of plays you can make.
Yeah. Then we have the Pride Seeker. So this is a 3 mana 2/4 battle cry. Your next choose one card costs 2 less.
So here's kind of the play: Pride Seeker into a turn 4 nourish, and then the next turn after that you'll have 6 mana.
Yeah. No, 7.
You have 7 mana. You can Pathmaker on top of and draw 3 cards, and then you have 4 mana to play.
Right.
So that's kind of this mid-range or tempo ramp druid, which we normally do more of either an aggressive style or a control style with ramp. This is kind of in the middle, and I like that.
Yeah. So then we got a couple of Druid commons. We have Claw Fury Adept. So this is a 2 mana 2/3 beast. Battle cry. Give all other friendly characters +1 attack this turn.
Yeah, and that's characters, so that
includes your face.
That will be your hero.
Yeah.
This is good on a 2 mana 2/3 body and a kind of I think beast, an aggressive to mid range beast druid might be possible.
Yeah. Then we have a common druid spell, Heart of the Wild. So this is a 3 mana. Give a minion +2/+2. Then give your beasts +1/+1.
So if you're buffing up a beast, it's going to give it +3/+3, and then +1/+1 to all the rest of your other beasts. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, in that style of deck, which right now doesn't exist, so we'll have to see if the deck is good.
All right, so we're at Hunter Legendary.
Yes.
Beaststalker Tavish. So this is a 6 mana, 5 armor, battle cry, discover and cast 2 improved secrets.
Which we'll talk about on the next slide.
So hero power here is 3 mana, summon pet. So it is summon an animal companion.
Yes, I mean, so it's the same cost as an animal companion, which is no longer in core.
Correct.
But now you just get it as a hero power.
Yeah.
So it's an endless animal companion. It's like if you played animal companion and it summoned an animal companion, but also
And
gave
put
you
the
another
spell
animal
back in your
companion.
hand, yeah.
So it's just like a constant recovering. I think the hero power is okay. I don't think it's great. I think this goes in the new secret hunter because the secret synergies with the improved secrets are really good.
So let's talk about those.
Yeah.
All right. So all of these improved secrets are basically the secrets we have, but better. So first up is improved freezing trap. 2 mana. When an enemy minion attacks, return it to its owner's hand. It costs 4 more.
Instead of 2 more, it's 4 more.
Then you got improved explosive trap. When your hero is attacked, deal 3 damage to all enemies.
And remind you, it's a fire spell.
It is a fire spell, yes. Then you have improved pack tactics. When a friendly minion is attacked, summon 2 3/3 copies.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have improved open the cages. When your turn starts, if you control 2 minions, summon 2 animal companions.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, whenever they've done that, you always get 2 different animal companions.
Right.
You usually don't get the same.
Yeah. Then you have improved snake trap, which is when one of your minions is attacked, summon 3 2/2 snakes.
Oh, and that's all the
That's
secrets.
all the secrets.
Except,
But wait, there's more. Improved ice trap. So this is the first time we've seen ice trap.
mm-hmm.
And improved ice trap says when your opponent casts a spell, return it to their hand instead, and it costs 2 more.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a counterspell, but it negates the spell's effect, but they get to play it
Again for 2 more mana.
either again that turn or again the next turn, but it does cost 2 more mana. One thing that I was really on the fence of whether Tavish was going to be good or not was how these improved traps interacted with your existing traps, because if the improved traps didn't work well with your existing traps that you're obviously going to put in the deck in that kind of secret hunter, then it wasn't going to be a good hero power. So I reached out on Twitter and I asked if the effects stack, if you can play one of the improved
So
traps,
if you can play explosive trap and then play improved explosive trap.
and if you could have both in play at the same time, and secondly, will their effects stack? And I believe it was
Celestalon replied
back with just yes.
Yep.
So that means if I play explosive trap, then I play Tavish, and I choose explosive trap as one of the traps.
Improved explosive trap.
Then when an enemy attacks my face, I'll do a total of 5 damage
To all their stuff.
to everything.
Yeah, all enemies.
So I think that's really good.
Yeah.
It's going to make playing around those secrets really tricky.
Yeah, it's going to make it a lot harder. That's
And I'm
for
sure there'll be some ordering, like
Uh-huh.
if you do freezing trap and then improved freezing trap, it'll probably proc the freezing trap, and then it won't proc the improved, I would assume, because it's
The
already
minion's
procced.
already gone, yeah.
So then if a second one attacked, then the improved trap will go off. That's how I suspect it will happen.
Yeah. All right, let's talk Hunter Epics. We have Spring the Trap. So this is a 4 mana epic spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion and cast a secret from your deck. Honorable kill. Cast 2 secrets.
So the biggest problem with the secret hunter is going to be you're going to get a lot of secrets in it. And so far they've only included 1 extra secret this set.
Uh-huh.
But the fact that improved secrets stack with the regular secrets, I think that gives enough room
Right.
to play the deck.
So Speaking of, another Hunter epic spell, the new secret, Ice Trap. So this is a 2-mana frost spell. When your opponent casts a spell, return it to their hand instead, and it costs 1 more.
One more. So the improved is double
Right.
the effect.
Right. All right. Moving on, we have a Hunter rare, the Stormpike Battle Ram. So this is a 4-mana 4/3 with a beast with Rush and Death Rattle. Your next beast costs 2 less.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad. I mean, if you could cast, if your next beast is, say, Crush for 7.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the kind of beast you want to put in that deck. I think this goes really well in that reoccurring Rat King deck.
Yeah. Cast a Rat King for 3.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be good. Or the copy of a Rat King that you made or something like that. Yeah, I think that'd be good.
All right, next up we have Hunter Common. It is the Mountain Bear. So this is a 7-mana 5/6 beast. Taunt. Death Rattle. Summon 2 2/4 cubs with Taunt.
This is amazing.
This is really sticky. So you're getting a 5/6 taunt that then drops 2 2/4 taunts.
So the biggest problem I think with the secret hunter is going to be buying time to get to the late games to maybe pull off a combo or something like that. This helps you with that.
Now this is 7 mana.
It is 7 mana, but you've done a lot of stuff with secrets leading up to that. You should be able to get to 7 mana. Also, 7 mana normally has really, really bad minions if you're getting a random minion from 7 mana. So the fact that this is in 7 mana, so something like an Evolved Shaman or using Revolve.
And I think it's important to note that for that 7 mana, you're getting like a total of 914 in stats.
Yeah, it's the stats are sick on this because you got the 5/6 taunt, which they have to work through. And then it's going to pop out 2 2/4 taunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just good.
Okay. Next up, we have the Mage Legendary Magister Dawn Grasp. So it's an 8-mana, 5 armor, battle cry. Recast a spell from each spell school you've cast this game.
Yes. Now it's going to cast. Recast a spell from each spell school you cast that game. So it recasts the spells.
Right.
So it's only going to cast the spells you played from those spell schools. So if you only played one fire spell, it's only going to cast that fire spell.
Only played Ignite. Yeah. It's going to play another Ignite.
But if you played a number of fire spells, it will pick one of those spells, not just a random fire spell.
Yes.
There is one thing important to note in that is, if I'm not mistaken, Mask of Cthulhu was changed to Shadow.
Ooh.
And Mask of Cthulhu is a 7-mana spell that does 11 damage?
10.
Is it 10 damage?
10 damage.
I might be thinking of times it does it with extra spell damage.
Yeah.
10 damage to random targets. So having that amount of damage, that ping damage on top, is pretty sick.
Yeah. And then you have the hero power, which is 2-mana Arcane Burst, deal 1 damage, honorable kill, gain +2 damage.
So everybody's talking about putting Magister Dawn Grasp and this big spell mage or this multi-school spell mage, and they really don't think she's going to be, or they are going to be good in that deck. I want to put Magister Dawn Grasp in Hero Power Mage.
Okay.
Because their new Hero Power, adds to the other synergies in that deck. Increased spell damage.
So here's my question. Do you have to wait to play something like, what's the spell that gives +1 to hero power?
Wildfire?
Yeah, do you have to wait to play this before you Wildfire for the bonus to the hero power?
Historically, you haven't, but I don't know. You might have to. But the fact that this increases its damage all on its own.
Yes.
However, also, what would happen was, if you play Magister Dawn Grasp and you get the hero power, it's going to recast a spell from each school. If Wildfire is one of those spells, it will then just increase the damage at that point.
That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the way to utilize Magister Dawn Grasp.
Yeah.
because I think they'll be really, really good in the Hero Power Mage.
Okay.
Which has always been kind of a fringe deck anyway. We like it because it's named after our show.
Hero Power.
You know, but I like it. I think it's a good deck. It's just not an extremely viable deck. It usually sits around a 48-49%.
I just enjoy being able to, fire blast, use my hero power, and hit something for 5 because I've cast my wildfires, and then I've gotten a couple of wildfires off randoms.
Also,
and
the 4-mana 3/5 minion that you has your hero power happen on everything. If it honorable kill things, I think it increases the damage. As
nice.
it honorable kills.
Okay.
It's not just doing that damage, it's actually using your hero power on each of the targets.
Right.
So that should be able to get you to ramp up really
Also,
fast.
Magister Dawn Grasp is now the same amount of mana as the hero power legendary that does 10 damage to everything.
Oh, they reduced that to 8 mana.
8 mana,
didn't they?
yep.
That may be a good or not a good thing.
So,
I mean, the fact that you can use your hero power and do that extra damage and then turn around and play.
yep.
I think that deck has potential, and I think Magister Dawn Grasp goes in that deck.
Okay. Next up, we have the other mage legendary, Belinda Stonehearth. So, Belinda is a 6-mana 5/5 battle cry. Draw 2 spells, swap their costs with this minion's stats.
So what happens is it draws the first spell, and the cost swaps with her attack.
Yes.
This draws a second spell, and the cost swaps with her health.
Right.
In that order.
Yes.
Obviously you want big spells in there, and you're going to reduce the cost.
So, when I first read this card, the first thing that popped into my head was Illusory Potion.
Potion of Illusion.
Yeah.
That's what I was just about to say.
You put this, you hit this with a potion. Now you have a 1-mana 1/1 version of this. You play it. Now you get 2 spells for 1/1. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's a turn 10 play.
Right.
Do you live that far? You're not winning the game by then. That's a fun deck.
Yeah.
The question I have about Belinda Stoneheart is, did you watch the reveal video for this?
I did.
It was the raunchy animation video.
Yes.
And in the raunchy animation video, the hero power the hero that was representing Mage was Belinda Stonehearth.
Yes.
And then she played Belinda
Stonehearth. Yeah.
Does that mean we have a Belinda Stonehearth Mage portrait coming? Because she's cool looking.
Yeah. I think she's very cool looking. In fact, I'm not familiar with this character. I don't know if this is something that the Hearthstone team has created, a character the Hearthstone team has created for this, or if she's in WoW. If you guys know, please let me know.
She kind of looks...
I'm curious.
Kind of Scarlet Crusade-y.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm interested in learning more about this character because they look really cool.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a couple of mage epics. We have Rune of the Archmage. So this is a 9-mana spell. Cast 20 mana worth of mage spells at enemies.
This is kind of like the Prime.
Kind of makes me think of the puzzle box.
Yeah, but the puzzle box could be any spells. It's not restricted by mana. The Prime, it wasn't restricted by mana, but it was only 5 spells.
Right.
So it was a smaller pool, which usually ended up adding up close to 20 mana. And it only cast those spells at enemy targets. Now, obviously, if you play neutral spells that are like secrets or draw spells, it's just going to do those. But if it prioritized specifically like damage spells that only targeted enemies, that would make this even stronger. I think it's a little too nutso out of the box to be competitive.
Okay. Next up, we have Mass Polymorph. So this is a 7-mana arcane spell. Transform all minions into 1/1 sheep. This is a spell I would want to get off of a random ability. This is probably not something I think I would want to run main deck.
This is a card I've wanted them to put in for a long time, and I could see this going into the core set rotation, or not this rotation, but the following rotation.
Okay.
I would put this in my deck. And the main reason I put this in my deck is because we used to have that one minion that would give you the random spells. The potions. Was it?
Yeah.
1 cost, 5 cost, or 10 cost.
Yeah.
And often you pick the 10 cost. Kazakus. Often you pick the 10 cost to try to get the mass polymorph option.
Yeah.
Because there was at that time, a high density of Death Rattle minions.
Right.
Well, we have Death Rattle Priest as a possible archetype coming in this set. If Death Rattle Priest becomes very viable, this is how you counter it.
That's true.
With Mage.
That's true. Next up, we have a couple of rares for the Mage. We had 10 mana. We have the Ice Blood Tower. So this is a spell. At the end of your turn, cast another spell from your deck. Lasts 3 turns. So this is an objective.
Yes. I think it's too expensive.
10 mana.
By the time you get to 10 mana, you're probably drawn and cast all the spells you want to play.
Yeah.
And it's going to pick the targets, not you. Unless you have a lot of global stuff, like that 9 mana spell we just saw that casts all the 20 mana worth of spells. It's just too slow.
But apparently, Blizzard and Team 5 think that this may be something that's happening because the very next card is Arcane Brilliance. 4 mana arcane spell. Add a copy of a 7, 8, 9, and 10 cost spell in your deck to your hand.
This card confuses me. And the reason it confuses me is you're spending 1 card to create a copy. It doesn't draw them. So
correct.
That's like if you have two Ice Blood Towers in your deck, you now have a 4th one. And if you play this Arcane Brilliance again, you have now or a 3rd one. Then you'll have a 4th one.
Right.
The problem is when do you play Arcane Brilliance and get these 4 cards that you're not going to be able to play right away because of their cost and not start burning cards out of your deck?
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to have, with big Spell Mage, you're going to have hand size issues because the cost of the cards only allow you to maybe play 1 card a turn.
Yeah.
So I think both of these cards are just bad.
Yep.
And I think that deck's bad.
So we'll see. Next up, we have Mage-Commons, and we have the Amplified Snow Flurry. So this is a 2 mana, 2/3 elemental. Battle Cry. Your next hero power costs 0 and freezes the target.
Hero Power Mage.
That's really good.
Hero Power Mage. It's going to work.
That's really good.
And it works good with Varden.
Yeah.
Hero Power Mage.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to play Mage.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Shivering Sorceress. So this is a 1 mana 2/2. Battle Cry. Reduce the cost of the highest cost spell in your hand by 1.
So everybody's saying, oh, big Spell Mage. Put this in big Spell Mage. This just goes in Mage.
Yeah.
Just reducing the cost of any
I mean,
spell is just good.
If the highest cost spell in your hand is a Fireball, now it's a 3 mana Fireball.
Yeah,
that's good.
Playing a spell a turn earlier, giving room for the next turn to maybe be a finishing move, that might bump your lethal up 1 whole turn, which is big in Mage. I think this is just an auto-include in just about every Mage deck.
Yeah.
That plays spells, which is going to be all of them.
All right, so next up, let's talk some Paladin. We've got epics. So first up, we have Brasswing. So this is an 8 mana, 9/7 dragon. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies. Honorable kill, restore 4 health to your hero.
So we used to play an 8 mana, was it an 8 mana 3/8 taunt? Or was it bigger than that?
I think that was about right.
That did 2 damage to all enemy minions. And we just played it. Now this doesn't have taunt, but any minions this honorably kills restores health. And it's a 9/7 body they have to deal with. So unless they have counter lethal the next turn, they're gonna have to trade into this.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if they don't, the next turn they're gonna get 2 more damage across the board, which also hits the enemy's face. It's all enemies, not just minions.
Right.
I think it's good. the question is what deck it goes in. I don't think it goes in Hand Buff Paladin, and therefore I don't think it'll be played a lot because Hand Buff Paladin is going to be the way to play.
Right.
There isn't really a Dragon Paladin. There might be kind of a big minion Paladin with Varden and maybe some other dragons and some other big minions, but I don't think it'll be that good.
Okay. And then you have Stonehearth Vindicator. So this is a 3-mana, 3/1 battle cry. Draw a spell that costs 3 or less. It costs 0 this turn.
Yeah, I mean Libram Paladin.
I mean, you were just talking about Hand Buff Paladin being very minion centric and spell light. So
this is targeted draw. Yeah,
this is targeted draw in a hand buff. This could get you a good, 3 or less hand buff spell that costs 0 this turn.
If you're playing Hand Buff Paladin with a few key spells and it's minion dense, but you have a couple spells, this is not a bad card to put in there. Basically, it's like increasing the chance of drawing that spell.
Right.
I think in Hand Buff Paladin and 3/1 not good, but when it starts getting buffed, maybe it is good. So you play the 2/2 that draws a minion and buffs your hand, and that draws this minion. Then you play it, and you get this hand buff spell or something, a spell you put in hand buff, which then you play for free that turn. Now, mind you, the cost to 0 is only that turn.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, anytime. You're probably only putting 3 and less cost spells in that deck anyways.
Yeah. All right, next up we have a Paladin rare spell. It's called Protect the Innocent. It's a 5-mana. Summon a 5/5 defender with taunt. If your hero was healed this turn, summon another.
That sounds strong, but I don't know what deck this would go in. It's a spell that doesn't really benefit.
And it requires your hero to be healed.
And that was my next point, is any cards, especially in Paladin, that require your hero to be healed. In most cases, your hero is at full health.
Yes.
So you usually don't meet that requirement because you're
at that
full
point,
health.
this is just a 5-mana, 5/5 for
Exactly.
taunt.
So I don't think it's good.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Paladin Commons. And we have a holy spell, Vitality Surge. So this is a 2-mana holy spell. Draw a minion. Restore health to your hero equal to its cost.
This would be good in a spell-heavy Paladin that has specific minions it wants to draw. I don't think that Paladin exists. I think we have the opposite, as I've beaten that dead horse already.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's very good. And we have too much targeted draw for spells anyways as it is, and even minions. Maybe not targeted draw for minions, but we have draw for minions. I just don't think it's that great. And I don't think the healing is really going to matter.
Yeah. Then we have Hold the Bridge. So this is also a 3-mana holy spell. Give a minion +2/+1 and Divine Shield. It gets Lifesteal until end of turn.
Yeah, so there's a rush minion that has the frenzy when it's dealt damage.
It gives everything else.
No, it does damage to the enemy.
Oh, okay.
Based on its attack.
Okay, yeah.
I forget the name of that. My brain is not working. It's going into turkey coma. But that would be perfect for this. I think in Hand Buff Paladin this would do well because you have some rush minions in there that would work well. Plus you have some sticky minions. Having the Divine Shield as well as the Lifesteal is just good value.
Yep.
Again, another spell, a spell that could go in Hand Buff Paladin that costs 3 or less.
Yep. Then we have Cavalry Horn. So this is a 5-mana 3/2 weapon. Death Rattle. Summon the lowest cost minion in your hand.
I'm kind of torn on this because this is good tempo value, but in Paladin, a lot of those low cost minions have battle cries you need.
Right.
So, do you want to summon them? The ones you want to summon are the higher cost ones.
Yeah.
So maybe you're just playing the low cost ones, trying to get the higher cost ones left in your hand so you can cheat them out. And that's not really a good tempo play and makes you play suboptimally. 5 mana for a 3/2 weapon, is that even good? Also with the hero power, which we talked about carry already.
Right.
It has a weapon. Do you want to overwrite that weapon? I say no. So I don't think it's good. I don't think it gets played.
Okay. Priest Legendary.
Oh, I thought we talked about this one already, but we
No,
didn't.
we haven't gotten to this one yet. So here we have Zyrella the Devout. So this is the Priest Hero. She is an 8 mana 5 armor. And Battle Cry, trigger the death rattle of every friendly minion that died this game.
Yes.
So it's like a death rattle shutter walk.
Yeah, so if you've had the ones, this is what I talked about earlier with the death rattle, with that undying amulet, I think it's called, that it summons your death rattles that died that game, and it increases as you trade it. That deck I played it. It's good but not great because you just have sustained death rattles right now. They give you armor, they heal you. You don't. There is one, I think it's a 3 mana 4/3 that does 3 damage to the enemy hero. That's not much.
Yeah.
Well, now you have the Humongous Owl, a 7 mana, what does 8 damage to the enemy hero, and you have the 3 mana one. If just one of each of those dies, then you play Zyrella. That's 11 damage to their face.
Yeah.
And you presume they've already taken 11 damage. Now, if you've resurrected them with the Amulet of Undying and they've died multiple times, and you have 2, 3, or 4 death rattles that do face damage that died, then you play Zyrella. That might be an OTK.
Right.
So you might play Zyrella, on turn 10 or greater, just to have the OTK damage.
Yep. Let's talk about Zyrella's hero power. So it's a 2 mana, Holy Touch, restore 5 health, flip each turn. So that means one turn you're going to have Holy Touch, which restores 5 health. Next turn you're going to have Void Spike, which deals 5 damage. And then it's going to flip. And they're going to alternate every other turn.
Now that means it flips whether you've used it or not.
Correct.
And the Void Spike is 2 mana for 5 damage. That's Mind Blast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically every other turn you're slowly pushing towards lethal. And then every turn you're not doing that, you're widening that disparity in health by healing yourself. Or the option of healing yourself if you're not at full health. I think it's great. I think she's one of my favorites. A lot of people are sleeping on her, and I think that deck's going to be one of the best decks in the meta, and people are going to start calling for priest nerfs again.
Because,
why
do people even stop calling for priest nerfs?
Hashtag delete priest. Man at Arms, I guarantee you he's got that copy pasted already to go on Twitter.
All right, next up we have a priest legendary, Najak Hexen. So this is a 4 mana 1/4 Battle Cry. Take control of an enemy minion. Death rattle. Give the minion back.
So the type of minions you want to take control are rush minions and taunt minions. Because if that minion dies and then they kill Hexen, there's no minion to give back.
Correct.
This doesn't go in the death rattle deck. Well, I mean, I guess technically it could, but it's going to water down your resurrection pool, and the death rattle that going off again with Zyrella's hero card, nothing will happen.
Right.
So I don't think it goes in that deck. Maybe it goes in a control priest deck. Maybe it goes in a control priest that's meant to counter the death rattle priest.
Yeah.
So you're taking their death rattle so they don't go into the pool. It's a tech card. I don't think it's good.
Okay. Next up, we have Priest Epic Gift of the Naru. This is a 1 mana holy spell. Restore 3 health to all characters. If any are still damaged, draw a card.
This restores health to your enemy
as
minions and heroes. So if the enemy hero is below 27 health, you will get a card. Now, you don't draw a card for each one that's still damaged. Only one. If one of them is still damaged, then you get it.
Right.
So I think it's a good card draw card, to be honest.
Next up, we have Bless. This is a priest rare spell. 2 mana, holy. Give a minion +2 health. then set its attack to be equal to its health. Now, my son pointed this out to me, and he was like, Dad, there's a 2/8 minion that's relatively cheap. You drop this on there, and now it's a 10/10.
True. It's true. I don't know how much that can be abused. Priest, you want to put it on a taunt just so it's hard to get through. I don't think you use it aggressively like you did the old Inner Fire Divine Shield combo. I think if this had draw a card or something like that, it might be better. I don't think it goes in that deck because I think it already has enough beef.
Right.
But it's not a terrible card.
Yeah. Then we have another priest spell, Stormpike Aid Station. So this is a 3 mana. At the end of your turn, give your minions +2 health. Lasts for 3 turns. So again, this is an objective that buffs all of your minions +2 health at the end of your turn for 3 turns.
Yeah, and you're only investing in this with these objectives. You're kind of investing the 3 mana, and it probably isn't going to really be impactful that turn. So you're really only getting 2 turns where it's impactful, because you're likely not going to have enough mana to do lots of other things. Like, you won't be able to play this and then play a bunch of minions to all get +2 health. So either you're going to have minions in play, or just does nothing the first turn.
Right.
So you're kind of skipping a turn to get 2 solid turns of effect for no additional mana. For that reason, I think certain objectives, are better than others. This one, if you're playing a control-y style priest or a combo style priest that uses control to get to the end game, and has taunts in it, this will be good. You play this early, let your opponent develop, then you start playing your big minions that have taunts, and then they get even bigger.
Yeah. All right, next up we have some priest commons, starting with Deliverance, which is a 3 mana holy spell. When you play this, you automatically hear banjos. Deal 3 damage to a minion. Honorable kill. Summon a new 3/3 copy of it.
This can target your minions.
It can target your minions.
There is a 4/3 minion that has Death Rattle, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. So you can play it, use Deliverance on it, and it summons another 3/3, adding more of those Death Rattles to your pool.
That's right.
Also, the owl was it? Was it an 8/3?
The humongous owl?
Was it an 8/3? I can't remember.
Let's just go back and look.
It was a big boy. It was a neutral. So
yeah.
8/4.
8/4.
Oh, 8/4.
So it's just outside.
Maybe not. I thought it was an 8/3.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't work for that one, but that would be really a late game. But you can use this on your own minions. So
correct.
And it also is a good removal that can then turn around and give you more pressure.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Spirit Guide. So this is a 5 mana 5/5 with taunt, Death Rattle, draw a holy spell, and a shadow spell.
So would you play this if it was 5 mana 5/5 taunt, Death Rattle, draw a spell?
Yes.
Just one spell.
Well, yes, because you're thinning your deck, and then, like you've been saying, we think Death Rattle Priest is going to be good, so you're going to be able to repeat that effect to draw another spell. Now, when you play Xyrella, if this is in play and has died, you're going to get a Holy Spell and Shadow Spell. And you're play Xyrella, get another Holy Spell, Shadow Spell.
That kind of...
So you're thinning your deck to get to what you need to win the game.
This is really good in that Death Rattle deck. I agree with you. What I am trying to say is I think it'll be good in just Shadow Priest. Because it will only draw you one spell.
Correct, because you don't have any holy spells. Yeah.
But I would play if it was 5 mana 5/5 taunt, Death Rattle, draw a spell.
Right.
Which in Shadow Priest it would be. So
yeah.
I think the fact that a minion, especially with taunt, can be used in 2 different decks and makes it good. I think this is a really good minion.
I agree. Next up we have the Luminous Geode. So this is a 2 mana 1/4 elemental. After a friendly minion is healed, give it +2 attack.
That's pretty good. And it does count itself if it's healed.
Yes.
I don't hate it.
Okay. Now, Rogue Legendary. So
this is crazy.
Yeah, so this is I've seen a lot of people talking about this card on Twitter this week. Seraphin Fleet Runner. So this is a 5-mana 5/5 battle cry. Replace your minions in your hand and deck with ones from other classes. They cost 2 less.
So this does replace your neutral minions,
Yes.
but it gives you minions of any other class aside from rogue,
Yes.
as long as you are a rogue.
Mm-hmm.
And it reduces their cost by 2. What was that? There was a warlock spell that was like 2 mana and did this. Was it 2 mana?
Oh,
It replaced all of your warlock cards with cards from
other classes. Yeah.
and then reduced their cost. And there were some people that made that warlock deck, and it actually did good because
Man at Arms, cough cough.
Man at Arms made that deck, and it did well because you were getting better value.
Yeah.
Your cards were cheaper. I think they were only reduced by 1 mana.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know if this will make a competitive deck, but I think it will be good. I don't know if I'd see this in tournaments, but you might see this on the ladder and it might be good.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a rogue epic weapon, the Lobotomizer. So this is a 2-mana 2/2, honorable kill. Get a copy of the top card of your opponent's deck.
There was a card that drew the top card of both players' decks and swapped them.
Oh, I remember that, but I don't
And
think I ever saw
it's
it
still
played.
in standard.
I don't remember ever seeing that get played.
Because I think it came out from, I want to say it was Dark Moon Fair. If you played this, you got a copy of their top card. Oh, and you honorable killed, you got a copy of their top card. If you liked it enough, or you knew it was like a key combo piece, you could play the other card to draw and swap them, stealing it from your opponent.
That's true.
I know a lot of people are saying, oh, you're just getting a random card from your opponent's deck, but it also gives you information.
Right, it tells you what their next card draw is going to be.
And it's not just a battle cry or a death rattle. It's an honorable kill, which means it can happen more than once. Obviously, it's going to be twice in this case because of durability. But do I think that makes the card good? No, I do not. I think it's a bad card.
All right, next up we have Rogue Rares. First up we have the Wild Paw Knoll. So this is a 5-mana 4/5 with Rush. Costs 1 less for each card you've added to your hand from another class.
So we're making Thief Priest without all the good Thief Priest cards because they've rotated to Wild.
Correct.
So in Wild, these Thief Priest cards might be really good, but I think in Standard you're not going to see Thief Priest.
Yeah. Then we have a rare rogue spell, Contraband Stash. So this is a 5-mana spell. Replay 5 cards from other classes you've played this game.
Again, another Thief Priest. Not enough consistency because you don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
I mean, it can be good. You just don't know.
Yeah. Next up, we have rogue common spells, or common cards. We have the Cold Tooth Yeti. So this is a 3-mana 1/5 combo, gain +3 attack.
So if you play another card before this, maybe at 1 mana, it makes it a 3-mana 4/5.
Correct.
So you've had to invest at least 1 mana to becoming a 3-mana 4/5.
Yes.
So in a sense, it's just
It's
a
a
Yeti.
4-mana 4/5, yeah.
It's a Yeti.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, we have a rogue common spell, Reconnaissance. It's a 2-mana, discover a death rattle minion from another class. It costs 2 less.
This one's interesting because death rattles tend to be a little powerful, and reducing the cost on it can be good. And other classes' death rattles there's really some good ones.
Yeah, there are.
So this one might be just good in Rogue.
Yep.
As a good 2-mana spell to give you a minion. Then maybe you need spells for combos and things like that.
All right. Then we have another common minion, the Double Agent. So this is a 3-mana 3/3 battle cry. If you're holding a card from another class, summon a copy of this.
So this is a tempo card that utilizes a mechanic that doesn't have great tempo. Because you don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
I mean, this deck sounds fun. I just don't think you're going to climb on the ladder with it.
Yeah.
If we were playing some kind of like listener series, tournament, I'd play something janky like this type of rogue that makes that's kind of like a thief rogue, but it's just kind of like a menagerie rogue where you're playing stuff from other classes, just not your own.
Right. All right. Shaman. So we're starting with a Shaman Epic minion, the Cheaty Snowball. Cheaty Snowballed.
Yes.
So it is a 3-mana 3/4. After an enemy is frozen, deal 3 damage to it.
Yeah, he's putting like ice chunks in his snowballs. What a jerk.
Right?
There's a lot of frost spells that are going throughout, the set. I haven't looked in Shaman. I know there was a lot of synergy with frost spells in Shaman, but I looked up and there were no frost spells in Shaman before this set came out, so we'll have to see what's revealed in the rest of these slides because I really haven't looked at them real deep. But freezing is a mechanic. There's some neutral cards that freeze. So, and this does freeze. This does do damage to the opponent's face.
Yeah.
If they're frozen, so that's good.
All right. So next up we have the rare Shaman cards. We have a spell Wild Paw Cavern. So this is a 4-mana. At the end of your turn, summon a 3/4 elemental that freezes, lasts 3 turns. So this is an objective.
So it's 4 mana that's going to give you a minion at the end of every turn. So it's 4 mana for a 3/4 elemental that freezes. But then you're guaranteed to get 2 more of those.
Correct.
This is a good value. Now, this is not a frost spell.
Right.
But it does give you an elemental that freezes that they're going to, even if they clear it, there's going to be 2 more the next 2 turns they got to deal with. If this is a weapon-based class, they might have to put their face into one of these 3/4 minions to clear it, meaning the next turn they can't put their face into it to clear it. So it's good in that kind of deck. I think will freeze Shaman be a thing? They've been trying to push it for years now.
That's true.
We'll see if it can happen.
Next up, we have another Shaman spell, Glaciate. So this is a 6-mana frost spell. Discover an 8-cost minion, summon and freeze it.
So 8-cost minions are fairly premium. You usually get some good stats out of them. And they usually have some good effects. There are some taunts in there. They have some good death rattles in the 8 cost. Freezing it kind of slows it down, but I don't know. It might be good.
Yeah. Then we have Sleep Breaker. So this is a 2-mana 3/2 elemental. Battle Cry. Add a Wind Chill to your hand.
So right off the bat, 2-mana 3/2 elemental is good stats. Wind Chill is a spell. It's on the next slide.
Wind Chill. 1-mana frost spell. Freeze a minion. Draw a card.
Yeah. So 1 mana to freeze a minion and draw a card. And it's a frost spell.
And it's a frost spell.
So that feeds into the frost mechanic.
With Sleep Breaker, theoretically, if you're running 2 copies of Sleep Breaker and 2 copies of Wind Chill, that's 4 Wind Chills.
That's 4 frost spells.
That's 4 frost spells, 4 cards drawn.
Yeah.
So next up we have Snowfall Guardian. So this is a 5-mana 3/3 elemental. Battle Cry. Freeze all other minions. Gain +1/+1 for each frozen minion.
I think this is good.
I mean, yeah, if this comes into play is for 5 mana. If your opponent has 3 minions and you have a minion or 2, all of a sudden this is getting +4/+4 +5/+5.
And if you have Cheese snowballed out, it could possibly clear their board.
Oh God, I didn't even think of that. Holy cow!
So the way it says gain +1/+1 for each frozen minion, if the Cheese snowball kills them, because it happens after they're frozen,
yes,
they should still get the +1/+1. I don't know how exactly that'll work, but still, I mean that's still a good. It's a high mana combo, but it's a combo.
Yeah. It's what, like 8 mana, 5 and 3.
Yeah.
So then you have Frostbite. So this is a 2-mana frost spell. Deal 3 damage. Honorable kill. Your opponent's next spell costs 2 more.
It's important to note it's your opponent's next spell, not next turn, not
Correct.
this turn. So even if they don't cast a spell for 3 turns, that spell has to be 2 more if this is honorable killed. I like it. I love anything that disrupts your opponent.
Yep. All right. Let's talk Warlock. We have a Warlock epic Fel spell called Fellfire in the Hole. I love the name of this card. It is a 5 mana, draw a spell, and deal 2 damage to all enemies. If it's a Fel spell, deal 1 more. So this is a 5 mana Consecration, deals 2 damage to all enemies. But if it's a Fel spell, now it's a 3 mana AoE spell to all enemies.
What do you mean 3 mana?
Or 3 damage. That's what I mean.
3 damage. But the difference between this and Consecration is it always draws you a spell.
Correct.
So if you added 1 mana to Consecration and added draw a spell, would it be good? I think yes.
Yeah, I think so.
So this is good, and then it can get even more if you're loaded with Fel spells. If you're only playing Fel spells, it's guaranteed to do 3 damage.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Next up, we have Warlock rares. We have Seeds of Destruction. So this is a 2 mana Fel spell. Shuffle 4 Rifts into your deck. They summon a 3/3 Dread Imp when drawn.
So we talked about the Tamsin.
Yep.
Hero card that her hero power shuffles rifts. These are the same rifts.
Correct.
So I like that they've implemented cards that do the same thing. Kind of adds to that theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Next up, we have another Fel spell, Full Blown Evil. So this is 3 mana, deal 5 damage, randomly split among all enemy minions, repeatable this turn.
So this is Echo?
That's what I'm assuming, is that when you play this, you'll get a phantom copy in your hand that you can then play again for another 3 mana.
And it only hits minions.
It only hits minions, but it does do 5 damage for 3.
Yeah, I don't think it's
10 damage for 6.
I guess.
I don't know.
I'm not convinced it's good. Now, if you're trying to fill your deck with Fel spells for other synergies,
Yeah.
maybe this is one you put in there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what the win condition. Maybe there's some minion combinations that, as the win condition, maybe we go back to Corrupting.
Right.
And we play Ticketus again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it works.
Next up, we have a Warlock objective. This is the Desecrated Graveyard. 3 mana. The end of your turn, destroy your lowest attack minion to summon a 4/4 Shade. Lasts 3 turns.
I think it'd be good in Zoo.
Yeah, you're basically upcycling a one attack into a 4/4. That's not bad.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put this in like the Fel deck because it's not Fel, and it might break up synergies. But in a Zoo deck,
yeah,
this it's an upgrade. Now, mind you, on that 3rd turn, will you have a minion in play for it to go off? You might not, but the next turn you probably will.
Yeah. Warlock commons, we have the Grave Defiler. So this is a 1 mana, 2/1 minion, battle cry, copy a Fel spell in your hand.
Fel Warlock. It's all starting to line up.
It is. Speaking of, you have the Fel Walker. So this is a 6 mana, 3/7 demon.
Ooh.
Taunt with battle cry. Cast the highest cost Fel spell from your hand.
Yeah, that gets tricky because the highest cost Fel spell might target your minion when you don't want it to.
Right.
I worry about it doing bad things for you. Maybe it kills this minion. I don't know. You'll have to really make sure that your deck is built in a way that you're casting the Fel spell you want and it's doing what you want it to do.
All right, warrior.
Yes.
So first up, we have the warrior hero legendary Rokara the Valorous. So this is a 7 mana, 5 armor battle cry. Equip a 5/2 unstoppable force. So unstoppable force is a 7 mana 5/2 weapon.
Not that the mana matters.
Not that the mana matters, because you're going to get it when you play the hero. After you attack a minion, smash it into the enemy hero. So you hit the minion hits the hero.
Yes, and if the minion is dead when you hit it, it's still going to hit the hero.
Correct.
So if you hit a 7/5 with this, it kills the minion. Then the enemy hero is going to take 7 damage because that's the minion's attack.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to take the damage of the attack of the minion, not of your weapon.
Correct. And then the hero power, 2 mana, Grand Slam. Deal 2 damage, honorable kill, gain 4 armor.
I like this.
I like it as well.
I like it a lot, and I'll tell you why. I think this goes in that Silas OTK deck.
Yep.
And this is a Lord Barov activator.
Yeah.
So you play Lord Barov, everything goes to 1 health. You use Grand Slam on Lord Barov, you'll get the 4 armor, and then it'll clear the board because it was just killed. And his death rattle goes off.
Yeah. All right. We have the other warrior legendary, Captain Galvanger, or Galvanger. Not real sure exactly how to say that. 6 mana, 6/6, battle cry. If you have gained 15 or more armor this game, gain +3/+3 and charge.
That's going to happen so easily.
Yeah, it's not hard to get 15 armor. And then this is a 9/9 charge for 6 mana.
6 mana better than King Crush.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a minion you put in there to kind of soften your opponent up if they gain some armor for the Silas OTK. Maybe this is a win condition itself.
Grommash, Hellscream, who?
Yeah, Grommash. Mind you, also Grommash can be activated by Rokara's hero power.
That's true
now too. So maybe you're just putting big rush minions in that you can hit face with.
Big charge minions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Charge minions.
All right. Warrior rares. First up, we have a warrior frost spell called Shield Shatter. This is a 10 mana spell. Deal 5 damage to all minions. Costs 1 less for each armor you have.
This is a spell I want a Reckless Fury to be back in the day. Which is 3 mana, destroy your armor, and does that damage to all minions.
Yeah.
But this gets cheaper based on the armor, so you're still going to keep that armor.
Right.
So if you have 10 armor,
this is free.
5
damage
for 5
to all
damage.
minions. Yeah.
Great in a control
Now it's going to hit all your minions too.
But. Yeah, that's true. But in a control warrior, you really don't care about that usually.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a warrior objective, Iceblood Garrison. So this is 2 mana. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all minions. Lasts 3 turns. It's a whirlwind each turn for 3 turns.
Yeah, for 2 mana, not bad.
I mean, it's going to force your opponent to go, okay, do I play these 1 health minions now that are just going to die? Or do I wait for this to expire and then play my minions?
What's more importantly is you can play this and then follow it up with Frenzy minions.
Frenzy minions, absolutely.
Which then can give you armor, they can attack a random enemy, they can destroy a random enemy minion.
Yeah.
There's lots of Frenzy minions that aren't played right now that would be good if you could kind of have an on-demand whirlwind.
Yeah. I like it. I think it has a lot of value.
Yeah.
Next up, we have another warrior spell, To the Front. So this is a 2 mana. Your minions cost 2 less this turn, but not less than 1.
I think this would be good in Pirate Warrior.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, you could pump out a bunch of...
paying 2 mana to be able to play 3 or more pirates in a turn.
Oh, yeah.
Where you could only maybe play 1 or 2 and activating your
hero or your quest faster.
Your quest line even faster.
Yeah, that's good. All right, we have warrior commons. Starting with Scrapsmith. So this is a 3 mana 2/4 taunt. Battle Cry. Add 2/4 grunts with taunt to your hand.
Which I'm presuming they're going to be 3 mana. Not bad. I don't know the deck it would go in, but it's not bad.
I do want to say this is not the correct art. If you're watching the stream,
Oh, it's not?
this is not the correct art.
Oh, that was the one I pulled off of their actual website.
Well, and I want to say there was a Twitter conversation where somebody was talking about this card, and Celestalon said we made a last minute change to the art that may not have been caught. I think they switched either from the dwarf to an orc,
Well, that makes sense.
or from an orc to a dwarf. I don't remember which. I think it was the dwarf to orc.
Well, that one makes sense because Rokara is supposed to be representing the Horde.
Yes.
In Alterac Valley, so it wouldn't make sense to have a dwarf. So
Yeah. I think they switched the artwork to an orc in the final
I did
release.
grab this artwork literally seconds after it was put on the website.
Yeah.
So they may have changed it already.
Yeah. And then we have Glory Chaser. So this is a 3 mana 4/3. After you play a taunt minion, draw a card.
Taunt Warrior? We don't really have a lot
We
of
don't
stuff
really
for
have
Taunt
no. We had Taunt Warrior. Taunt Warrior saw its day about 2 expansions ago or 3 expansions
three
ago.
expansions ago,
Yeah.
I don't think it's very good.
Then we have Axe Berserker. So this is a 4 mana 3/5 rush, honorable kill, draw a weapon.
See, I like Honorable Kill when it's on a rush minion. Do I like this one? A lot of the weapons we have right now have high durability or have other ways to, or we have a lot of weapons in that.
Yeah.
A lot of weapon availability. I don't know if draw a weapon is going to be perfect. Now, if you're only putting in that new weapon, the 5/1 weapon that has tradable and its durability goes up, maybe you're trading in to draw that weapon so that you can trade it to draw a card
and buff the weapon. Yeah.
And then you're buffing the weapon, and then if it can get another honorable kill, you're going to draw the weapon again and either play it, or you're going to trade it again. So maybe
that
it's
might
just
not be a bad idea.
Additional card draw. Where does it fit in a deck for that? I don't know.
Yeah.
And is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
That's all of them. Whew. Fractured in Alterac Valley is done, folks. It will release 1 week and a day from the time you are listening to this episode.
Is that right? Yeah. Whew, man.
Yep. So this episode,
7th.
you should be listening to this on November the 29th, and it will release on December the 7th. So.
Yeah, and so we should probably get the pre-patch on the 30th.
Uh-huh.
Is usually how it happens, where they put the actual cards in, and then that following weekend before the set, we should get, and this is all should based on what's going on in Activision Blizzard right now with the walkouts and all the stuff going on with Bobby Kotick. On top of the fact that there's a holiday, we don't know if this cadence may not happen the way it normally does, but usually the next weekend from now, we should be able to do the private firesides and open our packs.
Right.
So we might have some changes to the client tomorrow, if you listen to this on the download, that make some changes preparing for Alterac Valley, possibly some balance changes. They haven't announced anything yet, and definitely there is a possibility of having changes for Battlegrounds and Mercs and that kind of stuff. If anything is impactful enough to talk about, we will have a show this next week and to talk about that.
Correct. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, or any questions or comments about any of the cards in Fractured and Alterac Valley, send us an email to heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you haven't done so already. And for more details about our patron-only Discord, head on over to patreon.com/heropower. And we'll see you all again next time.
And don't forget to use your hero power.